You have been told that anxiety is something you manage. You breathe through it. You journal about it. You talk to someone about it. And still, it comes back. Not because you are doing it wrong, because you are solving the wrong problem. Every technique you have ever tried for anxiety operates on the same assumption, that the anxious mind is a problem to be quieted, that if you apply enough pressure, enough discipline, enough breath work, the noise will finally stop. But the samurai of Edo period Japan understood something that took the rest of the world centuries to catch up to. The noise is not the problem. Your relationship with the noise is. There is an ancient Japanese practice, older than any therapy, quieter than any meditation app, that does not teach you to manage anxiety. It teaches you to exist in a place where anxiety cannot follow. It has a name, Mushin. And once you understand what it actually is, not what the internet has reduced it to, you will never think about your anxious mind the same way again. In the winter of 1703, a young swordsman named Hayashi Torao arrived at the dojo of a master he had traveled 40 days to find. He was not slow. He was not weak. By any measure of his village, he was gifted, but he could not win a match. Not because his technique failed him. His technique was sound. His footwork was clean. His strikes were precise when he practiced them alone at dawn. The moment an opponent stood across from him, something happened. His mind filled. He began calculating. Will he move? What if I strike and miss? What if I hesitate and he sees it? The thoughts arrived faster than the blade. And in the space between thought and action, he always lost. He told the master this. He expected a correction, a new grip, a better stance. The master listened without expression. Then he said something Hayashi would spend the rest of his life understanding. You are being defeated before the match begins. Not by your opponent, by the one inside you who will not stop talking. He gave Hayashi no new technique. He gave him one instruction. Stop trying to quiet the voice. Learn to exist where the voice cannot reach. That place had a name. Mushin, the mind of no mind. Not the absence of thought. Not forced silence. Not suppression. Something far more precise and far more powerful than any of those things. Mushin Wushin is written with two characters. Mu, which means nothingness. Absence, the space before. Shin, which means mind. Heart, the seat of feeling and thought combined. Together, they do not mean an empty mind. They mean a mind that is not attached to what passes through it. This is the distinction that changes everything. Your anxious mind is not full of too many thoughts. Every mind generates thought. That's what minds do. The samurai's mind generated thought. The Zen monk's mind generated thought. Thought is not the enemy. The enemy is the hand that reaches out and grabs the thought and will not let it go. Anxiety is not a feeling. It is a habit of grasping. The mind encounters a thought. What if this goes wrong? What if they judge me? What if I am not enough? And instead of allowing it to pass, it holds it, turns it, examines it from every angle, feeds it attention until it grows into something that feels larger than you. Mushin is the practice of unclenching that hand, not by force. Force is still grasping, just in the opposite direction. You cannot fight your way into Mushin. You cannot discipline yourself into it. Every samurai who tried to force a clear mind in combat found the same thing. Effort produces tension, and tension produces exactly the mental noise they were trying to escape. Mushin arrives through release, not resistance. The master Takuan Soho, the Zen monk whose letters to the swordsman Yagyu Munenori became one of the most important texts in samurai philosophy, described it this way. He said the mind must be like water in a still pond. When a stone is thrown, the water moves. It cannot refuse to move. But the moment the stone settles, the water returns to stillness. Not because it tries to, because stillness is its nature. Your nature is not anxiety. Anxiety is the stone that keeps being thrown by you at yourself. Mushin teaches you to stop throwing it. There are 3 practices the samurai use to cultivate Mushin. Not in the dojo alone, in daily life, in the moments before combat, in the ordinary hours between. They have been adapted here for the world you actually live in. Kanso is the Japanese principle of simplicity, but applied to the mind, it becomes something more specific. It is the daily practice of deliberately reducing the number of decisions, inputs, and demands you place on your attention before the day has truly begun. The samurai understood that the mind does not arrive at Mushin in the middle of chaos. It arrives there through a prepared channel. They cleared their space before they clear their mind. The tatami is swept, the weapons arranged, the clothing set, not because neatness mattered aesthetically, because every unresolved thing in the environment is a thought waiting to happen. Your practice, before you open your phone in the morning, before the first notification, the first headline, the first demand, spend 5 minutes clearing one physical space. Your desk, your bedside, your kitchen counter. It does not need to be perfect. It needs to be intentional. You are not cleaning. You are preparing the channel. Mokuso was practiced by samurai before every training session and every match. They sat in saiza, kneeling, spine upright, hands folded, and they did nothing. They simply sat and allowed whatever arose in the mind to arise without following it. This is not meditation in the Western sense. There is no goal of calm. There is no success state to reach. The practice is not about what happens during the sitting. It is about the relationship you are training, the relationship between you and your own thoughts. When a thought arises during Mokuso and you do not chase it, when you notice it and allow it to pass without commentary, you're practicing the exact same movement that Mushin requires in a moment of high anxiety. You're practicing non-grasping. You practice 5 minutes each morning before any input. Sit upright. Close your eyes. Allow everything that comes to come, and allow everything that comes to go. You are not trying to feel calm. You are practicing the return. Every time your mind follows a thought and you notice it and come back, that noticing is the practice. That return is Mushin being built. Zanshin is the most misunderstood of all samurai mental concepts. It is often translated as awareness, but that translation loses the most important part. Zanshin means the mind that remains fully present after the action is complete, after the strike, after the conversation, after the difficult moment has passed. Most anxious minds do the opposite of Zanshin. The difficult moment passes and the mind stays there, replaying, questioning, rehearsing what should have been said. This is the grasping that Mushin trains you to release. But Zanshin gives you the positive direction, not just release, but presence. Where does the mind go when it releases the thought? Here, Now, this moment, your practice, after any anxiety-producing event, a difficult conversation, a moment of public pressure, a decision made under stress, give yourself 60 seconds of deliberate Zanshin. Breathe once. Look at what is physically in front of you. Name 3 things you can see, not as a grounding technique, as a return. You're practicing the movement from the moment that was to the moment that is. You're training the mind to live here, not there. This is what Hayashi Torao eventually learned. Not to silence the voice before the match. To return to the place where the voice had not yet spoken. I will tell you something honest. The first time I encountered Mushin as a concept, I approached it the way I approached everything else, as something to master. Another technique, another system, another thing to be done correctly. It took me longer than I would like to admit to understand that this was precisely the wrong relationship to bring to it. Mushin is not achieved. It is returned to. You have already experienced it. Every moment in your life when you were so absorbed in something, a task, a conversation, a piece of music, a long walk, that the internal commentary simply stopped. Not because you silenced it, because you were so fully here that there was no room for it. That was Mushin. You already know the way there. These 3 practices, Kanso, Mokuso, Zanshin, are not doors into a new place. They are maps back to a place you have already been. Your anxious mind is not broken. It is undertrained. It has been practicing grasping for so long that it has forgotten it knows how to release. Begin the practice tomorrow morning, not with the goal of calm, with the intention of return. The samurai did not seek a peaceful mind. They sought a present one, and in that presence, they found everything they had been looking for. If this landed for you, if there's one moment in this video that changed the way you see your own mind, I would genuinely like to know which one. Leave in the comments below. Thank you for being here.